Morning, brother. Hi, my little hummingbird friend. Can I get close to you? No. Yes. It's actually being very calm. Let me get pretty close. Hi, hummingbird. Let me get very close. And that's a treat in the morning. The hummingbird being so fast and agile, he's not too worried about me because he knows that he could at any point outmaneuver my slow ass. So he's quite willing to get close to me. Probably pretty curious of what I'm doing. I mean, people aren't strangers to him, I'm sure. He's probably been living here some time and on this water over here in a town like Phoenix. You know that plenty of people come through here. There's a lot of clearing out that's happened in this wash. I can see recent. I'm sure it probably has to do with homeless camps and stuff. They're clearing stuff out constantly everywhere. It looks like they really cleared this whole wash out. Probably cleared out a source of food for this little guy, because a friendly little hummingbird like that amongst a homeless camp, he probably got fed pretty well. Probably soda and stuff, but I'm just guessing. But he seems very willing to come close to me, which is neat. It's very neat. Hi, hummingbird. You're a beautiful little guy. You know that? Well, it's a nice way to start the hike. A visit by a little hummingbird. The hummingbird messenger. He's very appropriate on this day. It's a sad day. It's a big day, okay? And it's a big day because, I've been having this upwelling feeling of kind of an impending doom, a crescendo. And I think we all feel a crescendo coming, like a moment where things coalesce into a da-da-da-da, here it is. Now everything goes whichever direction it's going, but it happens fast, right? And I hope to God, I pray to God that people in this country can come together more in the atrocious murder of, someone who definitely was outspoken in his beliefs and loved and hated both, very polarizing figure. Either way, a human being who really cared about people in general and the best for people in general, whether political values had given some ill-founded reasoning, no one should ever be murdered over somebody else's belief. And this is something that humans have failed to come to reckon with through our existence. It's like we're evolving backwards. We're supposed to be getting better and smarter, folks. We're not supposed to be out here, in a spirit of free thought and free communication and free debate. We should still be able to revel in each other's humanity and have comfort in one another's right to exist above all else. Above all else, right to exist. We have our rights to say and believe what we want, but we do not, any of us, maintain a right to take someone's life over our beliefs. There's a special rung in hell for the people that do. On either side of anything, you can't pick a side when both acts are in the wrong. It's the actions. Feelings and thoughts and shit drive actions, but the actions are things that cannot be changed. No person, I want to say, will ever maintain the right to take life without retribution in some way. And this shows throughout history in causing wars. The moment that I heard that someone had assassinated this young man, I felt an Archduke Ferdinand moment in the making. I mean, who did it and who this and who that? I get it, and it's important, and we need a finger to point. And I don't want to say too much about, too much evidence pointing in one direction and irrefutably saying that it's one thing is usually highly questionable when you think about it. When the evidence is irrefutable and who did it, sometimes it's a setup. Look, either way, the point is, no one should get reactionary in this because that's the point. The point is to cause reaction and division. And if we as a nation descend into some divisive behavior and start, attacking each other over things that we believe and say, we will have that civil war that everybody's been worrying about. It'll come. But we have an option, people, to avoid it by, just understanding that sometimes things happen to cause other things to happen. And this does seem to me to be one of those moments, an Archduke Ferdinand moment where it just kicks everything off, and it doesn't have to be. I don't believe anywhere in this world that it would have been the intention of anyone. And I want to say any political figure that's ever been assassinated in the history would probably never, if they woke back up to say something, they wouldn't say, "Go out and slay in my name." They'd probably say, "Man, do you see the problem? Can we focus on the problem and fix it? Because we're going to descend back into emotion and lose the focus and lose the ability to fight the real cause and the real problem." As divisive as the young man was, he certainly didn't deserve what came to him. So the first thought I had when I heard that Charlie Kirk had been assassinated was Archduke Ferdinand. The beginning of the Second World War began off of an assassination of a political figure. A polarizing moment in history that pushed everyone over the edge to action, right? And I have been praying that that is not going to happen here in America, as we have been so divided for so long over these very issues. Just look at what's happened, though, in the past few years. How many things have been said and done that we've found are different than what was said about it, or found to be the truth and then found to be a different truth later, okay? We have to stop and think that sometimes a preponderance of evidence is not exactly irrefutably the truth. A lot of times it's obvious on purpose so that you don't look any deeper. And then by the time you look deeper, the consequences have already come. The actions that cannot be changed have already acted. And I'm praying that us as a nation, we can avoid this type of action, this type of retribution type behavior. So I'm seeing something, I want to say that, I am a conservative type person. but I am not, as many conservative type people, very much go out into the streets and fight people about it. You know what I mean? I don't need others to believe the way I believe for me to believe what I believe. I don't care. I think it's beautiful that we can all have different beliefs and different thoughts and all live together. I think that's the wonderful thing about our country. And I think it's asinine to take that essence and try to make it to where we have to agree on things. It's out of the spirit of what this whole nation was created for. We don't have to agree. But at the same time, we have to allow each other to have these inalienable rights, these religious and these personal beliefs and thoughts have to be allowed. I mean, the gay rights movement, this trans movement, all this stuff was something that I want to say was not oppressed. If anything, it was helped along and allowed. But now, whether or not it is a peaceful or a good thing, it's got a target on it that says, well, these are the guys that did it. And I'm here to say maybe it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, but getting all of the, I want to say the conservative base that's been chilling more, not jumping out in the streets when the riots are going on. They're just kind of minding their own business at home, going to work, paying their bills, paying their taxes, and not getting so proactive. I think this may be the thing that wants to push them right up out of their chairs and get into their cars and drive down and do something. And I am hoping that that can be stopped. Thought can prevail. Better judgment can prevail. You always want to think before you act. And this is a good time for thought and reflection. First things first, let's just have some time to grieve this young Charlie Kirk's life, and the loss and his family's loss. And that's the perfect thing that needs to happen right now, is just give it some time to grieve what has happened and not react to it. Just let it be what it is. It's horrible. It's awful. And everybody needs a moment to sit in that. A lot of times if you give somebody time to reflect on the horrible things that they've done, well, if you attack them in the moment, maybe they'll just go deeper in. They'll fight back harder. But if you give them time to reflect, maybe they'll see that it was atrocious. And maybe they seek forgiveness on their own. Or maybe you have time to find out who really did what. Let the truth unveil itself. You just need time. Okay, but I'm just worried about the Archduke Ferdinand behavior of humanity, where, we step too far in a direction out of emotion rather than allowing time for reflection. And, just think you can't take things back that have already been done, but you can choose to make a better decision. And that typically is going to need time to figure out what the hell that next decision is. You can't just act and make good choices when the emotions and so many people are involved. Because something like this isn't a single person decision. There needs to be sleep and dreams. And when you're talking collective consciousness, you're almost slowing time down because you're dealing with too many people that are involved. And everybody can't put their 10 cents in at the same time. It's a moving target right now as far as the behavioral outcome of Charlie Kirk's assassination. Seems that some people are hanging in with that aspect of, definitely time to grieve and mourn and feel and get through that first before anything happens, right? But then, I wanted to have a thought and see what other people were thinking about. And I got on Facebook and, honestly, I felt like hitting Facebook too. Like, hey, if you agree with what had happened there or you think it's funny, just unfriend me. Because if you say it outright and I see that in you, that you do not have basic humanity and you think that it's actually funny or a good thing that Charlie Kirk was taken from his family and taken from the world over his beliefs, then you to me are a dangerous person. And rather than anything horrible happening between us ever, I will step away from you for the rest of my life. Right? And then I started thinking like, man, dude, there's the divisiveness again. It's so powerful. So powerful. I don't want to do that. I believe that people with time can change their minds. Perspectives take a long time to settle in, and they take a long time to settle out. There's a big perspective shift happening in the world. And a lot of times it's hard for people to accept when they've done the wrong thing or made the wrong choices, to look hard enough and accept that and admit it and say, okay, it was wrong. Now I got to change and admit it and fucking take my licks and then fucking go this other direction and see what the fuck's going on. You know, it's hard. It's rough. But you can't help but to feel what you feel. And that's why time is so important. You've got to give yourself time to feel and work through so you appropriately react. So fucking take it from this guy. Oh my God. Take it from this guy. Take the time to appropriately react, not just fly off the fucking handle and next thing you know, oh fuck. Damn it, man. Fuck. Oh, that's broken. You know, everything's broken. Damn it. No. We can't sustain a future where we're trying to rebuild already while trying to make each other fit in boxes that none of us fit in. We got to accept each other's fucking boxes as what they are and just let them be. I don't believe in what you believe. You don't believe in what I believe in. Fuck you. So what? Love you. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you and I love you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really care. Like, I don't need commonality and belief structure to care for someone. I love people because people deserve to be loved. If they don't want to love me back, it's cool. I will dismiss them. And that is a healthier way to deal with your opposition. Just dismiss them, you know? It's like, what was that movie where they finally released, Peter Pan, right? Captain Hook. They all just turned their back on Captain Hook in the end, right? And that was the moment that they won. When they just said, I cease to believe in you. You and all of your powers are disavowed, revoked, rebuked, and you cease to cause effect. I have stripped you of your power in denying you and your belief, taken from you what was once yours and made it mine. Made the rules mine to follow, not yours. Prevailing truth and dominion prevails sway in reality. And reality sways the way that the majority does believe. And I'm here to say it's an irrefutable truth that Charlie Kirk was a good human being. He would help even his enemy in a time of need. And that's the essence of people that needs to be resurrected. It's a Masonic value.